This is Fourth Quarter Labs, where performance isn't just defined by what happens on game day, but by the discipline, mindset, and work that happens when no one's watching. I'm Robert Johnson, and here we talk to athletes, leaders, and everyday high performers chasing something more. Welcome to Fourth Quarter Labs. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are my own and do not reflect the views, positions, or policies of my employer, its affiliates, or any organizations with which I am associated. This podcast is produced independently and is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Welcome to episode 4. Today, with Fourth Quarter Labs, we have Scott Friedman with Ticket Talk Network. Did I get that right? Ticket Talk Network or Network?
You sure did, Robert. It's great to be on the your show and stoked for the discussion.
Excellent. Me too. I'll give the audience and even you a little bit of background here. You posted something the other day that had some connection. Maybe I'm wrong. You can fill in the gaps. You were talking about how maybe you got banned or you were kicked off of Instagram or TikTok or X. Sorry.
Yes. Yep.
But you were on LinkedIn, and very in your face, very controversial thing you were talking about at the time about ticketing and some of these bad actors out there. I was like, wow, this is interesting. I was like, who is this guy? And then reached out to you, and I think because you got a podcast, you were like, heck yeah, I'll be on this, and here we are today.
Absolutely. No, thanks, Robert. Yeah, it's I've been in the social media game now full force for about 5 years now, and I'm that type of guy that doesn't I'm not afraid to call out bad actors, bad practices, and call out companies such as StubHub that are ruining fans and resellers' experience by keeping their money, deceptive practices. So when you do stand up, and I don't really consider myself controversial, I just consider myself a straight shooter of calling out the facts and righting the wrongs in ticketing. And all of a sudden, literally 2 weeks ago, I pop up my phone and I see X suspension, and they didn't give me a reason. I appeal every 2 days, and I think within a matter of time, we'll get my main account back, Scott Friedman 3, which we built so much over the last 5 years talking ticketing. But the great news is, in the time being, in the last 2 weeks, we already picked up 1,000 followers on at Ticket Talk Net on X. So it's not stopping me. Whoever reported me, it's just going to make me work that much harder to report on ticketing, call out the bad actors, and right the wrongs in ticketing, because it really is a dysfunctional industry and really a sad state of affairs. And we should be enjoying live events. We should be celebrating as we go. We shouldn't make it rocket science to obtain a ticket to a sporting event or concert, which unfortunately is the case every single day.
Yeah. I have so many questions. So many questions, Scott, because you know a lot more than I do about ticketing. I've only been privy to the world of really in tech sports technology for about 5 years. I've been in and out of technology for 20, but you've worked in it in ticketing in the past. I know. So here we go. Lots of questions. One, I agree at a certain extent. The ticketing world is really interesting, and very challenging, because you have artists who aren't getting paid maybe what they should. You have teams like the Savannah Bananas who are implementing their own ticketing policies so that the general population can afford to go to their games and not being resold 5, 6, 7, 10 times for thousands of dollars to go to a Savannah Bananas game, which I love. When I read that article about what Jesse is doing at Savannah Bananas, I was super excited, very proud that he'd stepped in and did that. But how did you get into this? When did you wake up one day and say, I'm going to start talking about this stuff. I'm not going to use the word I said earlier, but how are you going? What made you want to wake up and say, I'm going to start talking about this stuff and bringing it to the forefront?
Yeah, to bring up Jesse Cole from the Savannah Bananas, we've had him on our podcast before he got mainstream, and he's done amazing things with the Savannah Bananas. What he's accomplished there is absolutely amazing, and I support the Savannah Bananas for taking out the resale bad actors and so forth. He does a great job. If everyone followed his playbook, the universe would be better, because he really goes the extra mile to take care of the fan. And even though we may not be on the same page about the open market, like I respect what he's doing. And if other like folks followed suit and like didn't play both sides of the table, which happens every day in sports and music, um, it would be fine. But he's doing a remarkable job. He's built a Harlem Globetrotters on absolute steroids, and what he's accomplishing is amazing. Why I woke up in one day back in May of 21, literally just over 5 years ago, is I worked in corporate America for really the first 15 years of my career. And I just saw all the BS and all the backstabbing and all the wrongs that go into having a corporate America job. And whether it was me fighting bureaucracy when I was a head of ticket sales at the University of Illinois at a state institution, whether it was politics of people getting what they want. So I just kind of like woke up really in May of 21. I said, you know what, I'm just going to kind of speak clearly. I'm going to piss off a lot of people. I'm probably going to lose a couple friends over it, which I did. And I'm just going to kind of go full blast on how I feel and call out the wrongs of ticketing, call out bad practices, post screenshots on X of like things that I don't agree with. And I continue to this day as I'm calling out the Vegas Golden Knights for canceling some resellers, but not all of them. And I posted a screenshot of this Parker Matthews guy that's a random reseller that's still able to sell tickets for the Stanley Cup. So I just want to let the public know really on my social media aspect of myself, my personal brand, and the Ticket Talk Network that there's just so many things wrong with live events and ticketing. And so many of these companies play both sides of the table. They act like they're against resellers, but then they backdoor and still list. Jesse Cole from the Savannah Bananas is uniquely on one side, and what he's doing is great. But I just want the public to know. I want to educate the fans to learn ticketing. We've come a long way. We have amazing FIFA World Cup coverage. Like if FIFA World Cup was here 5 years ago, like some of the content that I see that's out there would never have been reported because people didn't understand ticketing back then. So it's great to see folks besides myself really catch on to the bad practices, the backdooring that's going on in ticketing, obviously the bots, the bad actors. So we're building a movement, and it's not just used truly. It's going to take everyone to fix ticketing, call it out, and that's kind of why I started the Ticket Talk Association of professionals and resellers. We're hosting a TicketCon conference, which we can get into later this summer. But I just want the public to know of the real things that go on in live events every single day and prove it to everybody.
Break it down for me and for the audience here. What is happening in ticketing? Like what why have this podcast about Ticket Talk and like what is the in your opinion, what is the fundamental challenges across ticketing right now?
There's so many. I could answer this question and be on this podcast for about 10 hours going over everything, but to break it down at a high level, there's really a couple things. There's the Live Nation effect where Live Nation is playing both sides, right? They've got tremendous seat. They lost a lawsuit against 33 states in the DOJ back in April. They have a Ticketmaster resale platform where resellers buy on, where they make a lot of money. And then they go and say they're against resale when they're basically for resale to act politically that they want to sell. But then again, so many bots are still getting through Ticketmaster every single day. The bad actors, it's pretty much status quo. So what Live Nation and Ticketmaster are saying it's basically a flat out lie. They're a two-faced organization and they lie every single day. And it's just completely dysfunctional. So you have that aspect of the open market versus a closed ticket market. A closed ticket market that California and New York are fighting, obviously some smaller states, would give Live Nation Ticketmaster a full-blown monopoly if you didn't allow resale because they just would charge more on the primary. So you have that aspect of it. Then you have the aspect of rights holders and teams kicking out resellers but allowing some resellers and consolidators to stay and still sell. So again, that's two-face. They're saying that they're for the fan, but they're allowing backdoor resellers to still sell their tickets. Vegas Golden Knights, San Antonio Spurs, Carolina Hurricanes, New York Knicks, all the teams in the Stanley Cup, the NBA Finals, all guilty of that, saying that they're for the fan, but they're still backdooring seats. So it's really just a bunch of lies. And then you have a marketplace like StubHub. I'm doing a campaign where I'm helping victims of buyers and resellers, basically the biggest secondary ticketing market company in the world, the biggest brand, doing all they can to cook their numbers, to screw ticket resellers out of claims where they're right, charging them fines, not filling buyers' orders that bust. And it's just a complete train wreck. We've accumulated $2 million for victims in claims that will go to mediation court in San Francisco, home of StubHub's headquarters, on July 1st. So we just have ultimate dysfunction and train wrecks, and it's so easy to fix. There's so many aspects where ticketing and live events can be fine. All there needs to be is a universal instant ticket delivery, no issues, follow the rules, 4 tickets per account. If that all existed and fans can sell tickets and transfer tickets and not turn off transfers like some artists do, like Noah Khan's turn off transfers. I talk to fans every day. They're impacted by StubHub. They want to go to Noah Khan and they can't get the transfers. And obviously it's StubHub's fault, but if Noah Khan never turned off transfers, fans wouldn't be suffering of where their tickets would be. So those are like the main high level points. Like I said, I can go on all day about the tremendous issues, the dysfunction that is happening, the backstabbing, the two-face in ticketing every single day.
Okay, well, let's again. I am not a ticketing expert here, so I go online. I want to get a ticket to. I live in Denver, so not picking on anybody. I'm just using it as a name. I'm going to go to a mid-season Denver Nuggets game. I go online to Ticketmaster and I buy a ticket directly from Ticketmaster. Am I buying that directly from Ticketmaster? Is that a primary sale, or do I not realize it, but I'm buying a ticket that's already been purchased or sold multiple times?
So it depends. So if you're buying on Ticketmaster, if it's a blue dot, it is from the team, but not necessarily. So basically what teams do, like the Denver Nuggets and all professional sports teams that use Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, AXS, where there's both where there's both resale and primary, is that essentially, number one, it's your best bet to buy the ticket on Ticketmaster in that standpoint, because you're going to get the delivery right away. That's not the case with StubHub and the other secondary exchanges. But essentially what rights holders and teams can do, like when the Denver Nuggets were in the finals a couple of years ago, and what we're seeing in this year's finals, and both NBA and Stanley Cup, is that teams can backdoor and act like that pink dot is actually a primary resale. They're just making a pink dot to appear that it is a resale ticket, when it's really backdoor directly to list on Ticketmaster and the other exchanges simultaneously. So what I'm very upset about right now, and it's all the teams in the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup, is that they're just like saying that they're kicking out resellers, but they're still doing the backdoor deals themselves and selecting their partners to do it. So they're not being transparent with the fans. And that's kind of like been the whole argument that I'm trying to educate specifically the Vegas Golden Knights season ticket members that thought I was making this stuff up. So it's really just kind of like a narrative where they're saying they're getting rid of resellers, but they're kind of benefiting. They're charging more by having select partners and backdooring the tickets themselves as a pink dot on Ticketmaster and the other exchanges like StubHub, SeatGeek, TickPick, etc.
And if I go online to buy that ticket, I think I know the answer to it, so sorry if it's almost rhetorical, but the reason why I should care as a fan is because of how much the ticket price. That's it. Like you're trying to ensure that guys like me who want to go to a game, they're getting a ticket at a fair price. Because there's a piece of me that's kind of like, so what? Like, so what if it's been bought or sold, or
Right.
we've got a reseller reselling the ticket? I want to go to the game and I want to get a ticket as a consumer. It's kind of like the meat and the products you buy at the grocery store. I kind of don't care how it gets there as long
Mhm.
as it's there.
Mhm.
And I'm going to go through the aisles and I'm going to do my best to try to find the best value. I'm going to get the best seat for the best dollar that I think I'm willing to pay for. So why should I care?
It's you bring up a good point, and no, I tried to start the kayak of ticketing with ticket spotters, and there just wasn't enough money in it to be sustainable unless I raised like hundreds of millions of dollars. I learned that as a tech entrepreneur, and I failed badly at it. But I'm not as I like kind of like grow into like the ticket price and everything. Obviously, fans deserve deals where they can compare and contrast prices across the primary and secondary, and I encourage fans to do that. But ultimately, I'm not very price sensitive because when somebody wants to go to an NBA Finals or a big concert or any live event, I mean, demand's going to dictate that price. So,
Yeah.
like we're seeing in San Antonio for the NBA Finals against the Knicks, like that was a $2,000 get-in San Antonio on Sunday, and now it's a $600 get-in for Game 2 tonight. So, supply and demand will dictate the price what fans are willing to pay. So I'm not really. A lot of people get very price sensitive on overcharging and so forth, but ultimately that's up to us, the fans, to dictate the supply and demand. Because if nobody buys, these rights holders, these teams, these artists are forced to decrease the price, and we're seeing so much. I mean, it gets overhyped because we have this kind of like blue dot fever, blue dot flu. It's kind of two terms going on where there's
I
so many
heard that.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you heard
heard
that
that.
exactly.
I read
And
your post the blue dot flu or the
yeah,
sickness.
Blue Dot Flu. I'm branding as a Blue Dot Flu. I like it better than Blue Dot Fever. But somebody, I'm not the inventor of it. Somebody created two separate people created those brands, and I think it's absolute genius. I'm jealous I didn't think of it, but I think it's a great opportunity for fans, specifically during the summer amphitheater show, and specifically for you. You're outside of Denver, going to Red Rock. There's so many great deals to see concerts this summer from very awesome acts for $15 to $30, and there's just so many great deals where the Blue Dot Flu, where these artists just kind of get too greedy and they don't sell tickets. So there's still plenty of deals out there, but obviously the media attention gets caught up in the outlier sporting events, the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cups, the Super Bowls, and obviously on the musician side, it's the Noah Kahns, the Ariana Grandes, and so forth. But there's just so many great deals going on right now in ticketing, and so I'm not really price sensitive. I just want to see transparency from the primary and secondary, which we're not seeing.
I, I don't know this as fact, but I do feel like more and more ticketing platforms are popping up, like Jump. And then
Mm-hmm.
I just heard a brand new one the other day. I'm probably going to get the name wrong. Ticketbookings.xyz or
Mm-hmm.
something to that effect. Um, and then there's what's another brand? There's another brand new one that you probably know more than I do. But like, the question is like, yes, you talked about there's Ticketmaster, AXS Ticketing, SeatGeek, StubHub. There's these big primary and secondary markets out there. Do you feel like because of all of the ticketing dysfunction out there that there is inadvertently a huge opportunity in the world of ticketing to right some of these wrongs? Is that why some of these ticketing providers are coming into play?
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of these small ticket startups have popped up tremendously over the last 2 3 years. I mean, I noticed it when I was in the tech side of it. And no, a lot of them are doing great work. A lot of them are seeing the opportunity with Ticketmasters losing that DOJ lawsuit with 33 states where they can't be a monopoly. We're still obviously waiting on the final ruling, as it could be a couple years because obviously Ticketmaster is going to appeal it, Live Nation's going to appeal it. But I think there's amazing opportunities. I would love to see more of these smaller ticket companies get in the mix and sign massive deals with massive venues that Ticketmaster has. I mean, I would love to see it. It's great for competition. It's great for the industry. But on the flip side, Robert, I just for these like smaller like or associations like NIVA, National Independent Venue Association, they're just kind of like a little bit silly because they kind of like are for resale caps, right? Then they and they're against Live Nation's DOJ, but Live Nation is supporting resale caps and NIVA supporting resale caps because Live Nation wants the monopoly to not have any competition to compare the primary and secondary tickets. So I'm all for that, but I'm not for the associations like NIVA who are playing. Like I said, the theme of the podcast is kind of two-faced sides. Like, which side are you on? Which side are you trying to fight for? Are you trying to fight for a closed ticket market where there's only one place to buy tickets? Guess who has the market share? Live Nation. But I would love to see in the next couple of years of these small startup ticketing primary companies take out Ticketmaster and have some more competition in the space, no doubt.
Do you are there any in particular that you think have a strong position in the market, or you think have a unique offering that is going to give them a leg up?
I think it's SeatGeek. I mean, obviously they're an established company. SeatGeek's the only ticketing company that has taken Ticketmaster for a run for their money over the last couple of years. They've got NFL deals. They poached MLB deals. They're poaching major venues away, partnering up with AEG. So I think that the only one that's making a dent right now is SeatGeek. The other companies, it's obviously we'll have to touch base in a couple of years, but the only company making it somewhat of a dent right now to take away primary accounts from Live Nation and Ticketmaster is SeatGeek.
Do you talked a lot about pro in the last kind of 10 or 20 minutes here. Do you do much research or coverage on college?
Absolutely. That's my old stomping grounds. I was GM of ticket sales at University of Illinois for 5 years, and I actually worked for a company called Event Select, a consolidator, to do national NCAA deals back in 2018 when this was brand new.
Okay.
So the thing with the college space is a very, very complex space, obviously, with the NIL stuff going on where they want not just donations anymore, they have a separate vertical to pay the players now via the NIL.
Yeah.
Same stuff is happening there, very similar to the pros. They're in these Power Four schools and even smaller schools are doing massive deals with consolidators and spaces, and they're undercutting resellers. They're saying they're for the fans, but they're still utilizing these consolidators. They're still backdooring tickets themselves for higher prices. So,
Yeah.
kind of the same story. It's evolved in college with professional sports and ticketing, which we do call out here on the Ticket Talk Network during college football season specifically. If you follow our content from like September through the college football playoffs,
Okay.
it's a massive, massive thing that we bring up examples every single day.
You mentioned you make it a point to cover all sports 365 days a year. Every day are you streaming content? Are you just covering it? What are you doing?
All the above. I mean, I run a Discord group of Ticket Professionals 70 that it's a paid Discord group, so that stays open 365 24/7. I report it on X, Ticket Talk Net. I do a podcast about 5 days a week. We'll return the favor and have you on the show to share about your company because anyone that I'm invited on comes on my show also. So I love this industry so much. I'm trying to right the wrongs. It gets frustrating. There's some days like, damn, I want to take a day off, but I can't because I'm just so passionate about this industry. I'm so passionate about righting the wrongs. And everybody loves going to sporting events and concerts. And, when I went to a small show like Cold War Kids and last week, I'm like, man, I'm just having a good time. I'm not worrying about the ticketing fiascos or anything. I'm just having a good time with everyone else in attendance. And
Yeah.
and that's really how it should be. But there's just so many problems and there's just so many things to correct. And we have so much education to give specifically to the fans. And that's really why I started the Ticket Talk Network, even though it's kind of involved where I have a very massive Discord group where we talk about ticketing and resale every single day. But I really started this movement on social media for the fans. And I think that we're getting there, but there's just so much education that the fans need to know about the wrongs in ticketing.
Yep. And this sounds like, based on LinkedIn and what I'm hearing, this is your full-time gig.
This is my full-time gig. I'm finally, after 5 years, I'm finally making money doing it. It just, as an entrepreneur, it's just so tough to like build a following and
Yeah.
do this. So I was literally doing this for free for 5 years, and really towards the end of 2025, 2026, I'm blessed to be able to do this full time, and I'm passionate about it. It doesn't feel like a job. Like obviously you have jobs where it's a job because you don't like it, but when you're passionate about something and you love what you do, it's really a lifestyle, and I really am blessed to do this and make a good living now, and continue to grow the Ticket Talk Network into a massive media operation where someday hopefully we'll be mainstream and have a show like Pat McAfee.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you mentioned like you've got $2 million of funding to help. I don't want to put what was it?
Yeah, I mean, this is the best campaign we've ever done, and this isn't. And I'm not really making very little money from this. I'm getting some advertising dollars, very little, but we're helping. I partnered with an attorney, Brad Clements Law, where so many people have been wronged on StubHub, whether it's buyers not getting refunded or just kind of like said, well, we'll refund you 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, just kind of go through that cycle. Then they have sellers saying they didn't transfer the sales, which they did. So I noticed this trend really over the last 6 months with StubHub, and I started having victims on my show on Ticket Talk, and then I realized, like, you know what, I can't have 100, 200 people on my show, and I can't fight everyone's battle, so I need to partner with a law firm. And I'm blessed to be introduced to Brad Clements Law literally about 2 months ago, and I'm like, Brad, I can get you so many clients. We'll have you on the show. And we just got it done. We ran a massive campaign, over $2 million owed for StubHub victims during these recent claims, and we're just going to continue it. We're just going to continue this until StubHub gets their act together,
Wow.
or they're forced to shut down, because what they're doing is really a travesty to fans and good resellers that are just trying to move tickets, or not, or obviously on the buyer side not get tickets and not get refunds very easily. They're operating like a black market exchange, which is extremely sad.
Yeah. So you got your you mentioned a lawyer who's obviously not an employee. He's got his own thing. Is there a
Yep.
team? Do you have a team that is working with you? Do you have employees, or are they independent contractors?
I
Or
have one. I have one employee right now. Mike Fish is our producer. It's a two-man shop. We're a two-man operation. I want to expand it because there's only so much I can report on. I want to see, like, if I'm talking to you like a year or two now, that I have a staff of 10 or 20 and grow it, because there's so much content in ticketing. There's so many avenues. I think really like my thesis of the Ticket Talk Network is like each city has a podcast or a show to talk about their tickets in their particular market for sports and concerts. I think that's kind of a long term strategy, but there's just so much to cover, so much to talk about. I can't cover everything, and every day I feel guilty because I miss so many things. So we definitely are looking to expand into a full fledged media company with more employees here over the coming months and years, for
yeah,
sure.
I mean, the fact that you told me you are reporting every day on something, that is like a sense of I got like overwhelmed just hearing that. Like there
I
it's a
get overwhelmed too. Yep.
yeah. It's a
Yeah.
huge commitment. I mean, I
Yeah.
have everything I do on LinkedIn, which is posting not every day, but it's posting 5 to 7 days a week. I often post every single day, engage on LinkedIn and either creating content or writing content, making videos, whatever the situation is. And trust me, I love it. It's a passion. It has opened up dozens and dozens of doors and will continue to do so. The but is, it's still a lot, right?
It is.
It's a commitment, and so your level of commitment to this is quite daring. It's very impressive, and it caught my attention right from the onset when I saw. I'm always attracted to controversy, as most people are. They like to watch a car accident happen.
Right.
And so when your post was about being banned from X, I was like, okay, what could this guy possibly be writing about ticketing for somebody to have him taken down? Do you have any guesses? Do you
I
have
do.
any?
I do have some theories, and Rob, we're gonna get down to the bottom of it. If I have to spend a lot of money in legal fees, I mean, I will. I mean, obviously, we're still appealing every 2 days, and obviously,
Yeah.
it's a process. I mean, I have a couple theories. StubHub, they obviously have massive PR firms, and they're seeing what we're doing. We're basically suing them for $2 million plus interest plus fees, and that's almost as bad as their FTC lawsuit where they had to pay $10 million for hiding junk fees and so forth. So I have a theory that they took me down. They had a PR firm somehow get through the X communications angles to take me down. I also have a theory. This could be a cumulative effect too, because massive reportings do cause bans on X. I did read that. The California bill on LinkedIn got very, very dicey with the open ticket market. I was arguing with their lobbyists and Matt Haney on LinkedIn every single day, and I really wanted to try to make LinkedIn into more of a debate setting and obviously calling out. And obviously, it got extremely debatable and very good content on LinkedIn. And I don't know. I think California politicians have a lot of pull to take people down on X. I think he might be a theory, and I think that the FIFA World Cup too. They're obviously an association. They're getting a ton of bad press over the last year or so. They're not doing anything right. I constantly put up content about their practices. We had the viral posts go out where they canceled tickets off of mispricing yesterday. I have a theory that they're involved in it too. So whether it's all three of those parties or one of the party that got it done, it's definitely between one of those three parties that took Scott Friedman 3 down on X, in my opinion.
Interesting. Well, I hope you can get to the bottom of it. I haven't been following you that long on LinkedIn as of just a couple weeks ago. Because your focus is so heavy on X, are you brand new to LinkedIn? Is this new for you, or have you been on it for a while?
Well, I've been on LinkedIn as a professional for many years,
Okay.
but I really haven't been. I mean, X has always been my number one social media platform for the past 5 years. I'm the type of guy that says instead of worrying about the other platforms, why don't we just kill it on one, which we did on Scott Freeman 3. I was finally getting monetization payments and checks every 2 weeks from Elon, which was great.
How
But
big was your following?
we had over 10,000 followers, and which isn't a lot, but the impressions were just like, if you go over the impressions, like over like 90 days, I was getting like 20, 30 million impressions. So you're talking like it's not much at the end of the day, but when you're getting $500 a week from Elon for X, like that's a good chunk of change for an entrepreneur like myself that I'm not getting right now.
Yeah.
But I really think that we'll get to the bottom of it, get it back. On LinkedIn, I was trying to change the course over the last 6 months and kind of challenge people more, kind of like what I do on X. It's kind of getting a bad reception from these professionals. They think I'm a total whack job. And I get it too. I mean, LinkedIn's more of a professional standpoint, corporate America. So I was trying to change the setting on there, which I'll continue to do. But I'm kind of worried that if I continue with my aggressive takes, that somebody's going to get me banned on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn's a really great platform to grow your network, and it's obviously helped all of us professionals. So experimenting with that, but I think X is really my jam. It's my calling. People know me from there. I developed my contacts from there over the last 5 years. I was able to start my Discord group, the Ticket Talk Discord group of professionals over there. And really, X has done so many great things for me until they took me down here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Wow. Is there anything, again, assume I'm a ticket novice. Is there anything that you would want to impart on me in terms of just knowledge before we part ways here? What do I need to know? What is a big takeaway that you try to instill in people?
So yeah, absolutely. So let me just end this pod by saying this of how I see a perfect universe in ticketing. I think it's so easy to do, and hopefully someday or future generations and fans can experience that. So really, the primary is always going to be the primary, and they're going to be charged of ticket pricing and distribution and so forth. But once the ticket gets sold on the primary to whomever, following the rules, 4 tickets per account, FTC, every ticket should be instantly, universally delivered to the fans right away. No transfer delay, no nonsense. We would just live in such a flawless world if I can go on Coinbase, if I can go on any of these blockchain networks, if I can go on StubHub, Ticketmaster, and just say that I purchased a ticket for the Denver Nuggets or a concert at the best amphitheater in the world at Red Rock, where I can get my ticket delivered on any site that I purchase right away, no issues. So it's so easy, and we just make things so complex. And I really think that, and I've been talking about this too with Randy Nichols and the folks on the opposition side, like, why don't we just give royalties to sports teams and musicians and artists for every ticket sold? Because sometimes tickets get sold multiple times on platforms. Imagine if we gave them a $2 per ticket sold every time that same ticket was sold. And it's just so easy, but we just make things so complicated. And that's all I really want, is just instant ticket delivery worldwide for every live event that happens.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, Scott, maybe with all the hard work and the dedication and the education that you are putting out there in the world, I hope that you can make a difference and make the world of sports and fandom and concerts a better place. I appreciate it, and it was great having you on the show.
Great having you on, Robert. We'll return the favor and have you on Ticket Talk to tell your story very soon.
You got it. Appreciate it, Scott.
Awesome. Have a good one. Take care.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Fourth Quarter Labs. If you enjoyed the conversation, please follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube so you never miss an episode. Your support helps us continue sharing stories and insights from leaders, athletes, entrepreneurs, and high performers. We'll see you on the next episode.